let me know when you're on. Okay, there you go.
Okay.
Okay, so live stream is on and the recording is on. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay. Thank you, Dave. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. It is November 17, 2022, and I would like to call to order the meeting of the UOG Board of Regents. It is 5:30. Okay, first on the agenda is item 2.0 meeting minutes. So let's take a few minutes to go through the regular minutes of the September 15th board meeting. Okay, I do have a couple of items and let's see.
Madam Chair, can you call for the motion first and then we'll have a discussion?
Sorry. Yes, can I get a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes of September 15th?
Regent
Yes.
McKeever,
Good.
Regent McKeever, like to make a motion.
Okay, second, Regent Halawa.
Regent, yes, I'll make the second.
Okay, let's move on then to discussion and can you review comments regarding the meeting minutes. I'd like to go ahead and start off and let's see, go to item page 3 of the minutes, item 5.2.3 in the middle of the paragraph where it states CHRO Gumatauta added that based on the competitiveness of the position, it's recommended that we align. I'd like to change out the we. I prefer to have it more specific and change out we to, I believe that's the administrative salary instead of, and recommend that the administrative salary be aligned. So did that change?
I'm sorry, Madam Chair, you're coming in broken. Can you refer to the
yeah.
sentence again, please?
Okay. I'd like to replace we. It is recommended that we align and replace that with it is recommended that the administrator's salary be aligned instead of we. We is a bit vague.
I'm sorry, it is recommended that
that the administrator's salary be aligned to some. Yeah, so that way it's clear what it's referring to, the recommendation. And then this is just a couple of typos on the last page 8. Item 9.4 and 9.5, this tenure, we need to add an R to tenure. So this is page 8. Yeah. And then
Here it is.
9.5 also needs to have an R.
Got it. Good move.
Yeah. Okay, so that's what I have for comments. Is there anyone else? Okay, if there being none, I'd like to call for a vote. All those in favor of approving the minutes as noted, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Okay, all those opposed? Abstention? Okay, the ayes have it. Motion to approve minutes carries unanimously. Okay, moving on to action item 3.0, chairperson's remarks. Okay, welcome and half a day, everyone. Welcome to our November regular meeting, and I hope everyone continues to remain safe and healthy. I'd like to also take the time to extend our thanks for everything that you all are doing to keep the mission of the university moving forward. The board certainly appreciates all the 70th anniversary events showcasing what UOG is about and its many accomplishments and contributions. We look forward to the Platinum Jubilee finale and holiday party on December 3 at 6 p.m. UOG Gallo Fieldhouse. We're also looking forward to our next commencement in December, where about 210 students may be graduating and contributing to our professional workforce in our community and elsewhere. As you all may know, Dr. Christ will be retiring upon completion of his current contract, and we certainly appreciate all that he has accomplished to date, and will start the presidential search process as soon as possible. More discussion on this in the agenda later. This concludes my remarks, and next, item 4.0, President's Report. Dr. Christ.
Thank you, Madam Chair, for your remarks and the opportunity to present. I'm just getting my screen up here. Yes, thank you very much. And thank you for the reference to the Presidential Search Committee. And so we've, as you know, the board has created the Presidential Search Committee, and those members, which will have an element of this and later in the agenda, but I'll just mention that the members include Lisa Provito, the Board of Regents Chair, Agapito Diaz, a Regent, Roland Certeza, a Regent, Christopher Garcia Santos, Faculty Senate President, Kiona Rivera, the SGA President, Dr. Catherine Wood, Community Representative, and also from the Society of Emeritus Professors and Retired Scholars, Sunny Atta, Community Representative and also former Board Chair, Board of Regents Chair, Antoinette Sanford, Community Representative and also former Board of Regents Chair. So that makes up the committee. There'll also be an advisory committee for this group that will extend the ability to bring in feedback and input from the community. So there'll be a larger group that will assist the Presidential Search Committee. And with the support from Dave Okada and the Office of the President's staff, we'll proceed with the process. 9 months is plenty of time to conduct a very thorough search process, and we'll look forward to a very professional process as we go forward. In the meantime, the campus is focused on these big projects in this coming year. So we have the WASC and ABET accreditation reports that'll be due by the end of this next semester. Thanks to Senior Vice President and Provost Anita Enriquez and her teams for that hard work. That we also be finish our application for the Carnegie Community Engagement Classification application. So thanks to co-chairs Pete Barcinas and Carlos Taitano and their committee working on that. We also have 4 capital building projects, big projects that'll be that are underway now and will be making a big mess of campus as they get built. The Student Success Center, this engineering building, the nursing building, and the Weary building. And there's also the Siemens public-private partnership project that will be that is undergoing now, and that will be going along with the capital building projects. So thanks to VPAF Randy Wiegand, RCOG Executive Director Kathleen Moore-Lynn, and their teams for all of that work. We also will have renewed or concluded a new faculty union contract by the end of next semester. So thanks to Faculty Union President Bob Barber and his team and our administrative team for their side of that. And we also are working on the update to the campus master plan. And so thanks to Dave Okada, Glenn Leon Guerrero and their teams working on that process. So that's a lot going on in this the rest of this semester and the coming semester. Since our last Board of Regents meeting, I attended several meetings in various places. So I was in New York City and attended the UN Local 2030 Islands Network meeting at the Ford Foundation with John Kerry, Marshall Islands President David Kabua, 6 prime ministers from island nations around the world. And I was particularly pleased that UOG was praised twice in the meeting by the Palau representative, and we generated some interest by being present. We also, I attended with Austin Shelton, director of the Center for Island Sustainability, the Up to Us Climate Action meeting, as well as the Arizona State University Global Futures Conference, which UOG is a partner in that group. I also attended the Pacific Post-Secondary Education Council meeting, all the presidents of the US affiliated Pacific Island colleges and universities in Washington, DC, where we were marking the 15th anniversary of the Anna Peasy, our category of the Minority Serving Institution category. So that's Asian American, Native American, Pacific Islander Serving Institution. So we're 15 years since that was created with leadership help from former President Robert Underwood. So we were trying to stress this funding for this and trying to increase the funding for our category to get up closer to the Hispanic serving institutions and the historically Black colleges and universities levels of funding. And so we also, this group of presidents then visited the US Education Department and met with 2 undersecretaries of education. We met with the head of the Rural Development Office of USDA. We met the director of the National Science Foundation, the new Assistant Secretary for Insular Affairs, Carmen Cantor, at the US Department of Interior. And we also met with the caucus chair for the Asian American Pacific Islander Caucus in Congress, Representative Judy Chu. And then much of this was coordinated by the APIA Scholars President and staff. And that group of people are coming to Guam and the CNMI in January. So look forward to hosting that group. And that group works as both a scholarship organization as well as a lobbying organization for the interests of the Asian and Pacific Islander American community. I also, in October, made a visit to Madro. So this was originally scheduled for March of 2020, but something happened to delay that. So we were able to make our visit to Madro and the Marshall Islands to coincide with our 70th anniversary. We signed an MOU between UOG and the College of the Marshall Islands for articulation agreements. We advanced some efforts to run a PMBA cohort of 30 people from the RMI. So that looks to be on track. We also, I held talks with the College of Marshall Islands leadership to seek a new program to help the RMI achieve its national goal of 100% BSN nurses by 2030, which is a tall order, but we're working on seeing how we can help them do that. And then also hosted an alumni event with 15 people in Madro, which is a good turnout for there. On the way back, I stopped. My wife was with me on her own dime, but and also met up with Charlene Santos Bamba and her staff who were in Pohnpei. And we hosted a UOG at 70 event with 42 people, including Guam Vice Speaker Tina Muñoz Barnes and Senator Mary Torres were there for a legislative meeting. And so they joined us for the alumni group too, which is nice. I was also pleased and honored to be able to meet with the FSM president, David Panuelo, and met with the former FSM president, Manny Mori, who is currently serving as the interim president of the College of Micronesia FSM. I'm currently in Phoenix having COVID delayed medical health screening, and it's the middle of the night, but I'm happy to be with you. And and I just finished attending the ASCU annual meeting. That's the American Association of State Colleges and Universities in Carlsbad, California. UOG is one of 19 universities across the nation who were chosen competitively for the second cohort of something called SSEI. So it stands for Student Success, Equity, and Inclusion. And UOG has been recognized by this group for its unique Chamorro values approach to DEI, the abbreviation for diversity, equity, and inclusion. And this is all we're using the rubric Inadahi San Inogoflie, which was developed under Dr. Anita Borhenriquez's leadership and a team led by Dr. Lawrence Camacho, a group of faculty and staff and students involved in making the case for our indigenous values of respect and looking out for one another being at the center of our understanding of DEI. So that's been remarkable, and people have commented on it at the ASCU meeting. UOG was also recognized for winning the 2021 ASCU Excellence and Innovation Award for the Guam Green Growth Initiative. And that, of course, was spearheaded by Dr. Austin Shelton. On the way to here, I also attended the governing board meeting of the REL Pacific in Honolulu, and I extended invitations for other US API, US affiliated Pacific Island presidents to attend our 14th annual conference for on island sustainability, which will take place 11 to 14 April, which is right after Easter. Easter's on Sunday the 9th. Also, thanks to Development Director Norm Analista and UOG Executive Director Katrina Perez for helping us make good progress in pushing forward the advancement initiative. And we've had a particularly good meeting with the Board of Directors of the Endowment Foundation week before last. And so we're moving ahead with the development of a more robust advancement initiative in a partnership between the university and the Endowment Foundation. And you'll be hearing official details of 5 more national awards for marketing and communications, as well as their partners across the campus. So I don't think it's quite announceable yet, but you can anticipate that good news coming soon. And also thank you to Chair Provito for remarking on the December 3rd, 70th anniversary celebration and holiday party, and also our December 21st commencement. And we also are delighted to have online with us at this meeting faculty members who were awarded tenure at our last Board of Regents meeting. And I'll announce them and then invite them to say a few words if they'd like to. So first is Dr. Deborah Marie T. Cabrera, Assistant Professor of Sociology in the College of Liberal Arts and Social Sciences. So Dr. Cabrera, if you'd like to say a word or two.
Great, thank you. Where do I begin? Well, my professional journey has taken me to numerous educational institutions, even at one point teaching 7th grade. But when I arrived at the University of Guam on a tenure track position in 2017, I arrived at a place that finally felt like home. And so I hope that my record of teaching, service, and scholarship demonstrates my commitment and dedication to the University of Guam. And I hope to continue growing with the university and adapting to the changing needs of our students and the diverse communities we serve. So Sizu Uzmaasi for your thorough consideration of my application and support for tenure and promotion to Associate Professor here at the University of Guam. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much, Dr. Cabrera, and congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Next is Dr. Ujjwal Kumar Patil, Associate Professor of Civil Engineering in the School of Engineering. Dr. Patil.
Thank you, Dr. Rice. So just want to say thank you to everybody, Mr. President, Board of Regent members, and whoever was involved in approving my tenure application. It's been like more than 5 years now I've been working at University of Guam, and it's a real pleasure to work for it's my pleasure to work for the university, and will continue to serve the university with the same passion as I have been doing so far. So thank you very much, and I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Patil, and congratulations to you.
Yes.
And finally, we have Dr. Bulan Wu, Associate Professor of Chemistry, College of Natural and Applied Sciences. Dr. Wu?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. First of all, I want to thank Dr. Price and the chair and all members of the Board of Regents for your strong support in my tenure application. So I joined UOG 2016 as a tenure track assistant professor. So I was promoted to associate professor and tenure this year, so this semester. So thank you so much. I would like to share a quick update in my research since my application. So just last week, my group installed an HPLC. It's just a high performance liquid chromatography. That's an advanced equipment. And I also installed the automated chromatography in July. That's also, I believe this is the first automated chromatography system, not only at UOG, but in Guam. So with those advanced instruments, and I can do both organic synthesis and natural products. So as an organic chemist, for example, I can synthesize cannabidiol, CBD, from the completely different chemicals. I also can isolate cannabidiol from hemp or cannabis plants. So why those instruments are so important? Because I can use automated chromatography system to isolate and purify, for example, CBD. And then I can use HPLC to analyze CBD. So make sure it is pure enough. And also, for CBD research, you have to make sure the THC less than 0.3. So that is very, very important. I just so excited to update. If you are interested in the cannabis or CBD research or my research, or if you need my research spot, so please feel free to contact me. I will be more than happy to help. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Wu, and congratulations to you as well. So thank you, and that's always very happy to have our newly tenured faculty have a chance to say hello. And so thank you also to all of our regents for your care and dedication to UOG. Thank you to all the Tritons and friends online for this meeting and all those who've made the meeting possible. And I'll close with Viva UOG.
Thank you, Dr. Kreis. And again, welcome to all our newly tenured professors. Okay, moving on. Let's see. We have agenda item 5.0 reports from standing committee. So I'd like to begin with item 5.1, the Student Affairs, Scholarship, Alumni Relations, and Honorary Degree Committee. That would be Chair Regent Malilai.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The regular meeting of the CSARD committee convened on November 9 via Zoom. A quorum was present. There were 3 resolutions presented during this meeting. And the first one is resolution number 22-35. Regent Malilai moves to approve resolution 22-35 relative to approving the proposed changes to the Student Government Association Constitution and bylaws to add a public relations officer.
Regent Diaz,
thank you.
I second the motion.
Here we have a second from Regent Diaz.
Second,
discussion.
Regent Holowa.
Oh, Regent Hollow, we already had a second with Regent Diaz.
Okay,
Thank you. Can we have discussion?
In terms of under discussion, the SGA Vice President Christian Ramos was present, and he spoke of the need to add a PRO to the list of elected officers. But I had just noticed that we have some members of the SGA present, and if they would like to add more to this instead of my saying something, they're more than welcome to pipe in. I've noticed that one of their treasurer, Austin Fortuno, is present. Would you like to say a few words in support of your resolution?
Top of the Regent Manila, I actually have our Vice President here joining us as well, Vice President Ramos.
Okay.
Hi everyone, good evening, and hi Madam Chair. Yes, I just want to really hope to get your support on this resolution, as we are seeing an increased use of social media and all the digital platform usages, especially for mail merges or just getting the word out. And we really feel that adding this position into the student government can get as much word out as to our student body. And yeah, we just really feel that this could really add a beneficial factor to our organization and to other future organizations as well. Thank you.
I would like to add that this resolution had undergone the review process, It was submitted by the SGA president and reviewed and endorsed by the EMSS dean, Dr. Enriquez, Dr. Kreis. So that would be the end of my discussion, unless anyone would like to add more to this.
Okay, thank you, Regent Malilai. If there are no other if there's no other further discussion, I'd like to call for a vote on resolution. All those in favor, say aye.
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 All those opposed? Abstentions? Okay, the ayes have it. Motion carries unanimously.
Okay, the next resolution is number 22-36. Regent Malilai moves to approve the resolution relative to approving the Fundachinan 2022 commencement graduate listing.
Is there a second?
Yes, Student Regent Laksamana seconds the motion.
Thank you. Discussion?
As the chair had mentioned, there are 210 graduates in December. Again, this resolution had undergone the review process. It was submitted by Miss Arlene Leon Guerrero, the interim associate dean and registrar, and it was reviewed by the EMSS dean as well as Dr. Enriquez and Dr. Kreis. Ms. Leon Guerrero, are you present? Would you like to add anything to this resolution? Any comments?
No, Arlene is not present.
Oh, I thought
You
she
can continue.
was. Okay. It's very self-explanatory. You all have a list of the graduates who are graduating. I'd like to say congratulations to them. And that's about it.
Okay, thank you, Regent Malilai. If there are no other questions or concerns regarding resolution, I'd like to call for a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
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 All those opposed? Abstention? Okay, the ayes have it. Motion carries unanimously.
The next resolution, number 22-37. I move to approve this resolution relative to awarding the honorary degree of Doctor of Laws to Louis R. Baza.
Is there a second?
Regent Diaz, I second the motion.
Thank you. Okay, discussion, please.
Oh, Mr. Louis Baza has served for over 36 years in both the public and private sectors. His positions have ranged from human resource manager at SRF and LSG to chairman of Civil Service Commission and the deputy general manager of administration and finance at Port Authority. He has a commitment to leadership and service. What he has done for Guam and for the government, including UOG, is remarkable. And I think we should approve this resolution.
Thank you, Regent Malilai. Okay, and we were probably going to hear him as a commencement speaker as well. So
That's
I'd like
nice.
at this time, I'd like to call for a vote on the resolution. All those in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Abstention? The ayes have it. Motion carries. Okay. Okay, thank you, Regent Malilai. I believe those you you're done with your resolutions. Is that correct?
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you very much. At this time, I'd actually like to step down as chair, as I'm going to serve as acting chair for the AP&T committee. So with that, I'd like to call on my Vice Chairman, Chairperson, Sandra McKeever, to take over the chair.
Thank you, Chairwoman Lisa. I will accept the chairmanship right now.
Okay, I'm okay as acting chair of the APT committee. I have several resolutions that need to be introduced, beginning with resolution number 22-38. I'd like to make a motion to approve this resolution relative to establishing a Center for Island Sustainability and Sea Grant Director position in the administrator's salary pay scale. The CIS Center was established in 2009, and UOG was granted full institutional sea grant status in the spring of 2022. And it's one of 34 sea grant institutions established by the U.S. congressional legislation under the U.S. Department of Commerce on the U.S. mainland.
I'm sorry.
The center.
May
Can
I
you hear me?
ask for, yes. Can we ask for a second first, please, before
Oh, I'm sorry.
discussion?
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'm out of order.
we have a it's okay.
That's why you're
We
chair.
have a we have a motion. May I have a second?
Regent Nahalawa seconds the motion.
Okay, now we'd like to open for discussion. I'd like to ask the chair, Lisa, to please
Continue.
have some discussion, please.
Yes, thank you. All right, moving right along. Establishing a Center for Island Sustainability and Sea Grant Director position is needed to further advance the Sea Grant's mission to integrate and apply research, extension, and educational activities to sustain and develop island environments while integrating knowledge and cultural perspectives of island people. The OG Administrative Council has reviewed this action and recommended that it be sent to the President for consideration to forward to the Board of Regents Academic Personnel and Tenure Committee, and the Board of Regents APT Committee has reviewed the action and recommends approval of the resolution.
Okay, is there any more discussion on this resolution? Okay, if not, I'd like to call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any abstention? All in
Opposed.
all opposed, sorry. So late. All opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? Okay, the ayes have it.
Motion. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Madam Chair.
Motion carries.
Yeah. Okay. The next resolution, resolution number 22-39. I make a motion to approve this resolution relative to aligning the pay for the Marine Lab Director position to similar positions in the administrator's salary pay scale.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Regent Nahalawa seconds.
Okay, now we're open for any discussions.
Okay, so this resolution basically aligns the pay scale with similar research directorships. And so in order to establish parity, the salary range for this position should be benchmarked to similarly established administrative positions. The UOG Administrative Council has reviewed this action and recommended that it be sent to the President for consideration to forward to the Board of Regents APT Committee. The committee has reviewed this action and recommends approval.
Okay, so we'd like to take a vote now. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? Okay, the motion carries.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. All right, let's move on now to the next resolution. resolution number 22-40. I make a motion to approve this resolution relative to awarding Emerita Dean of School of Business and Public Administration status to Dr. Annette Santos.
Okay, there's a motion. Is there any second?
Regent
Regent
Nahalova
Diaz.
seconds.
Okay, I think that was Regent Diaz that beat you out a little bit. So
No
there's a
problem, no
second.
problem. Thank you.
There's a second. Can we have a discussion? Any discussions?
Okay, this resolution was introduced by Dr. Alicia Uggan, Dean of the School of Education, who nominated Dr. Annette Santos for the title of Emerita Dean of the School of Business and Public Administration. We heard a very detailed credentials the last board meeting. And I'll just do a quick recap, but Dr. Annette Santos has over 20 years of service as a full-time faculty member and administrator of UOG, and served a total of over 8.5 years as interim dean of the SBPA, and then as dean of SBPA from June 2015 to July 2022. Dr. Santos has distinguished herself and is known for her strategic management, focus on student success, research and entrepreneurial innovations, and positive engagement with business, government, community, and not-for-profit sectors. She served in numerous community and professional committees, completed over 21 publications, oversaw undergraduate and graduate academic programs in business administration, accounting, criminal justice, and public administration, and health services administrations, pre-law, sustained 2 specialized accreditations earned by university programs, and hosted the following centers: the Pacific Islands Small Business Development Center Network, American Samoa SBDC, Guam Procurement Technical Assistance Center, and Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation, and Regional Center for Public Policy. The nomination was reviewed and recommended for approval by the Senior Vice President and Provost, the Administrative Council and President, and the APT Committee recommends approval for Emerita Dean of SBPA status to Dr. Annette Santos.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussions or questions or concerns? If not, I call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? Okay, the motion carries.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next resolution, resolution number 22-41. I make a motion to approve this resolution relative to awarding Emeritus Director of Water and Environmental Research Institute of the Western Pacific status to Dr. John Jensen.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Regent Nahalova seconds.
Okay, is there any discussion?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Dr. Ross Miller, the interim director of WARI, had nominated Dr. John Jensen for the title of Emeritus Director. Dr. Jensen had over 29 years of distinguished service as a full-time faculty member and administrator at UOG, serving a total of 6 years as interim director of WARI. Dr. Jensen is known for his expertise in both basic and applied aspects of island groundwater, hydrology, and environmental science, of which his research portfolio, including thesis work of his students, included mapping the Northern Guam lens aquifer, numerical modeling, Pacific Island atoll aquifers, hydrologic characteristics of the Northern Guam lens aquifer. He also did research in reconstruction, prehistoric climatic conditions of Guam and the West Pacific region, management of the NGLA, and protection of groundwater quality. Dr. Jensen's applied work on Guam's drinking water also includes assessment of sinkholes, evaluation of newly drilled and rehabilitated wells, and reconnaissance of promising sites for production wells. Recent completed work includes a hydrological study of Santa Rita Spring to provide engineering design to GWA for rehabilitation. He also notable service to the UOG includes chair of the Faculty Council Executive Committee and member of the Faculty Senate Organizing Committee, member of the UOG Presidential Search Committee, and president of first, second, and fourth Faculty Senate for a total of 15 years of service in the Faculty Senate. As director of WARI from 2016 to the present, WARI has retained its place as one of the top rated among the nation's 54 water research institutes with the USGS, rating it as one of the 12 outstanding institutes in the latest 5-year review. So the enclosed nomination was reviewed and recommended for approval by the Administrative Council, Senior Vice President and Provost and President, and the APT Committee has reviewed the enclosed nomination and recommends approval for the title Emeritus Director of WARI to Dr. John Jensen.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other comments? Okay, if not, I'd like to call for a vote. All in favor of this motion, say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? Okay, the motion carries.
Sorry, I have to add that for effect. All right, let's move on to the next resolution. Resolution number 22-42. I make a motion to approve this resolution relative to awarding Emerita Vice Provost of Institutional Effectiveness to Debbie Young-Guerrero.
Okay, there's a motion. Is there a second?
Regent Naholoa seconds.
Okay, there's a second. So is there any discussion?
Yes, Madam Chair. The Dean of University Libraries has nominated Debbie Young-Guerrero for the title of Emerita Vice Provost of Institutional Effectiveness on behalf of Senior Vice President and Provost, who endorses the nomination. Debbie has over 20 years of service as full-time faculty member and administrator at UOG, and she served over 14 years in the position title of Vice Provost of Institutional Effectiveness. She's highly regarded for sound decision-making and team-building abilities, collegiality, humility, good nature, and tireless commitment to the university's mission. She's a professional at UOG, dedicating her experience and knowledge as a strong, responsible leader, provided exceptional customer service to students, faculty, and the local community, and provided valuable influence in working with the administration, faculty, staff, and students in addressing issues impacting UOG. The enclosed nomination was endorsed by the Senior Vice President Provost and reviewed and recommended for approval by the Administrative Council and President. And the APT committees reviewed the nomination and recommends approval to award the title of Emeritus Vice Provost of Institutional Effectiveness to Debbie Young-Guerrero.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion? If not, I'd like to call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? Okay, the motion carries.
Okay, next resolution. Resolution number 22-43. Make a motion to approve this resolution relative to approving steps for updating the faculty salary schedule for equity parity within UOG and market.
I'm sorry, Lisa, Chair Lisa Previto, you cut out. Can you repeat, please?
Can I'll try. Okay, let me repeat the resolution.
Okay, thank you.
Motion to approve resolution number 22-42 relative to approving steps for updating the faculty salary schedule for equity parity within UOG and market competitiveness.
Okay, thank you. There's a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
Regent Naholoa seconds the motion.
Okay, so now we can be open for discussion.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The current faculty salary schedule for 9 and 12-month faculty and a parallel administrator salary plan were established in 1991. And the administrator's salary plan had been updated twice since 1991, and each update providing significant increases in the administrator compensation. Over the same time, the underlying faculty schedule had only been changed by an average of 11% over the same period, despite nearly annual documentation by the Faculty Salary Committee of the need for faculty salary schedule update to parallel those given to administrators. The inflation for this period from 1991 to 2022 is 117%, eroding the real value of every step of the faculty salary schedule for 9 and 12-month faculty by more than a half. The GovGuam 2014 Competitive Wage Act changed the civil service scale for all civil service employees, including UOGs, and this was immediately followed by UOG updating its non-civil service staff scale as well to give comparable salaries. The Guam DOE educators who received salary increases in 2014 based on market competitiveness and equity under the 2014 Competitive Wage Act received recently another 20% increases this year. UOG salaries, when compared to peer and aspirant institutions using 2018-2019 Chronicle of Higher Education data, showed UOG faculty salaries were behind 30 to 40% after adjusting the cost of living. The Faculty Union and Faculty Salary Committee recommended the Board of Regents commit to seeking a 40% increase in the faculty salary schedule through a planned two-pronged approach over the upcoming years. First, by seeking a 20% increase in the faculty scale as a line item in the upcoming budget for fiscal 2024. And second, through additional increases in the scale over the following 2 to 4 fiscal years in 5 or 10% annual increments. Therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Regents approves and directs the UOG president to include in the UOG fiscal year 2024 budget a line item to increase the faculty salary schedule by 20%. Number 2, add steps 10 to 20 to the faculty rank of assistant instructor agent 1 in the faculty salary schedule. 3, direct Vice President of Administrative and Finance and Chief Business Officer using methodology agreed upon by the PAF, CDO, UOG Human Resources Office and Faculty Union to make step adjustments to account for faculty salary inversion. Number 4, start formulating plans for the second set of future year increases noted above and approve the attached scale for fiscal year 2024 that reflects item 1 and 2. And item 5, study the current usage of lower steps of the schedule or recommended action in fiscal year 2024. I'd like to see if our Chief Human Resources Officer, Joe Gumantaltau, would like to add anything to that.
Yes, thank you very much, Madam Chair, and Hapane, and good evening to all our regents and the public. So essentially, the resolution before the body is a long time coming. There's been a collaborative effort between the university administration and our faculty, and in particular, as noted and recited so eloquently by Madam Chair, it basically, the resolution kind of outlines the culmination of many years of work to study and to review the current faculty schedule that we have, which impacts our 184 faculty members. So obviously, we have a lot of documentation, and more so these past 2 years, we've really been working with the current union president and his predecessors to assist to move forward. So the 5 resolve clauses noted basically sets the framework for next steps. It does set out the pathway, and as you noted, Madam Chair, it's going to be done in 2 phases. The first, granted, we do get the support in the upcoming FY 2024 budget with the legislature. would call for an immediate 20%, and then we will work thereafter for a phased-in approach for the subsequent years. So we appreciate the body's consideration, and as noted, this resolution has already gone before the other governance channels, and they've all supported this measure. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there any other discussion on this resolution?
If I may.
Yes.
I want to thank you. You both have covered all the points really well. I'm speaking to the world that is listening outside of the border regions. I want to note that I feel so blessed that the whole university is behind this. I mean, this has been through 2 years of building a consensus within the whole university that we need to do this. I'm at the end of my career. When I came in 1991, after that Hayes study that was noted earlier in one of our resolutions, I came in and UOG was incredibly competitive nationally as how it treated its faculty and how it treated its teachers in the public education and how it treated GCC. But now with this 117% inflation and the incredibly high cost of education that our island people have gone off to the mainland and gotten these advanced degrees to be able to come back, I just pray that the legislature and the administration will consider us as they did the DOE teachers and give our next generation of faculty the same opportunities I've had in my career. I consider myself incredibly blessed to be here with Guam and the university. And as my career ends, I just pray that we can get this increase, not just this coming years, but the following years, because the university has been working to make ends meet and everything go by. But the one thing that has been left behind, and it's the only group I'm aware of in all of GovGuam employees that have not received significant increases since 1991, is the UOG faculty. And now people come back because they love Guam, but you've got to pay them and you've got to give them a 20-year career path of advancement. And this is a major step in doing that. And I want to thank you, Regents, for supporting us in this.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, thank you very much. And so if are there any other discussions? If not, I'd like to call for a vote. All in favor of this resolution, say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? The motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Okay, I believe that should take care of all the resolutions, I believe.
Okay, so
There's
I'd like
another
to. Mhm.
Oh, just a second. There is resolution
more.
number 22-44.
Okay.
Sorry. All right. I make a motion to approve. I make a motion to approve resolution number 22-44 relative to amending the negotiated agreement by and between the Board of Regents of the University of Guam and UOG Faculty Union, American Federation of Teachers, Local 6282.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Regent Naholoa seconds the motion.
Okay, thank you. And are there any discussions on this motion?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. UOG President and Faculty Union President met to address extending deadlines for the applications for tenure, continuing employment, and submission of materials for UOG's comprehensive faculty evaluation system to mitigate some of the disruptions that were caused by the pandemic, emergency, and other disruptions. The Vice President for Administrative Vice President for Administration and Finance, Chief Business Officer, Senior Vice President, and Provost for Academic and Student Affairs, President, and the Board of Regents APT Committee have reviewed the attached amendment and recommend to the Board of Regents for approval.
Okay, thank you. All right, is there any other discussion? If not, I'd like to call for a vote.
Madam Chair, I could just I could just amplify a little bit. This
Okay.
agreement really addresses issues regarding the COVID pandemic. And so most universities in the country provided some kind of window or amelioration of the schedule because of the disruption of COVID. So this sort of incorporates that and allows us to grant some extensions. It only winds up affecting a very small number of people, but we thought it was important step to take to allow for extraordinary circumstances of COVID. So it helps us move ahead, and this is also something to think of when we move to the renegotiation of the faculty union contract, to be thinking of sort of standard accommodations that many universities provide for family medical leave, parental leave, those kinds of things, to allow for a change to the, or delay to the tenure clock. So just to provide a little bit of background on that.
Thank you, President Kreis, for that clarification. Are there any other discussion? If not, I'd like to call for a vote. All in favor of this motion, say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. Okay, any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you.
Okay.
I believe that is the last.
That concludes my committee report for APT.
Okay, thank you very much. So at this time, I'd like to step down as chair right now and give it back to Chairwoman Lisa Provito. Thank you very much.
Oh, okay. You did have the option of continuing on as chair, presiding chair. Okay, thank you, Chair, Vice Chair McKeever. Okay, let's move on now to action item 5.3, Physical Facilities Committee. I believe we have a report from Regent Diaz.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So the Physical Facilities Committee met on November 9th, 2022 at 4 p.m. via Zoom with a quorum present. So I'll just be covering some of the updates that were presented to the committee. I'll start off with the facilities management and services. Obviously, we have our USDA projects. We have the School of Engineering and Student Services Center. Notice proceed was issued for both those projects. The committee was briefed that there were some additional requirements related to funding that had come up that are being worked out. But on a positive note, this did not hamper the start or progress of the projects. As far as updates for the School of Engineering, the contractor, Future World Corporation, has 24 months to complete the project, or until September 27, 2024. This was an update to the committee and are based on the actual contract requirements. The School of Engineering is currently in design, and the contractor and their designer are working directly with stakeholders, including the School of Engineering professors, to make some revisions, particularly with the laboratories. For the Student Services Center, some notable changes. The contractor Reliable Builders has 785 days to complete construction, or until November 2024. Again, that's an update based off the actual contract requirements. Design is in progress. Contractor has submitted 35% drawings last month. Design reviews are in progress. The 70% design is due in 1 month, and the final design is to be completed by mid-January of 2023. We reported at our last regular meeting that the Student Services Center tenants will be moved to UOG's 13-unit container village that was to be located on the side of the field house. Unfortunately, the bids for those containers came in above budget, so FMS had to pivot. Currently, the relocation plans will be moved to available spaces within the existing facilities throughout the campus. So we achieved some savings by using our existing facilities. And you appreciate the sacrifice for some of those other schools and buildings for the additional space for the interim. Demolition for the Student Services Center is anticipated to be mid-January. For our US EDA projects, we have the Water Environment Research Institute and the School of Health buildings. So some updates here. The Weary project design is complete to include obtaining the height variance and zone variance with Department of Land Management. The School of Health project design is also complete. That one did not need any variances. The project will bid both projects in one contract. The issue for bid is estimated to be in December of this year. Construction will take 20 months to complete. So we're looking at a completion for both those buildings, August of 2024. So if you just think of our current schedules right now, we're looking to have all 4 buildings completed in the next 2 years, in 2024, about the same time. The committee was also briefed that both USDA and US EDA required liens as part of funding requirements. So one positive was that there was an existing process for sharing that lien between federal agencies. And I think one of the lessons learned that was shared to the committee is that potentially looking at subdividing properties to limit the scope of liabilities and other requirements. Moving on to another project that was recently completed, the Guam Cultural Repository. A ribbon cutting ceremony was conducted last month. FMS is working on closing out that grant, and it has the end of the year to complete it. The MOU between the university and the Department of Chamorro Affairs is granted that UOG will stand up and operate that facility for 3 years. So should the transfer of the facility and land to the Department of Chamorro Affairs still occur in the future, it pushes out the audit issue where we a little bit further out, so we can depreciate the building. But in FY 25 or 26, we will have to look at a huge write-off for that if that transfer does proceed. Okay, looking at life cycle and maintenance, our air conditioning systems, ACs were purchased using higher education emergency relief funds. Those are anticipated to arrive in December of this year. FMS is looking to develop another bid to install and to maintain these units for up to 5 years, which is good. The bid is expected to be let out this month. For our generators, our big generator, 600 kilowatt generator to support the RFK Library, Micronesian Area Research Center, Global Learning and Engagement, and the Computer Center. We're waiting for one more component, the automatic transfer switch, that is anticipated to arrive this month in order to complete the installation of that large generator. And the next generator scheduled to be replaced is the CNAS. That's 175 kilowatt, and we're looking for funding through USDA. Some personnel updates. So we've rounded out our FMS strategic hires with the hiring of Aaron Regis, hired last month, and he is a planner 3. Looking at our cost reduction projects. So this are projects that came out of the Siemens study. There's the phase 1 project. The scope of work for that project looks at installation of 15 kilowatt solar panels and the restoration of existing panels. It also looks at building automation for the School of Business and School of Education buildings. And so UOG has a grant, a $1.2 million grant to begin the work, and that will begin at the School of Business building. And UOG right now is working on finalizing the finances for the 4.5 million portion of this work. All the paperwork is signed, just needs the review of the Attorney General and the Governor. For safety and security updates, there are no major changes for the fire systems, the elevators or doors. campus signage and parking lot striping. There's an assessment that's needed that's ongoing, and they're working with FMS to remove and repair old signages, purchase new ones, and also painting ADA parking slots and fire lanes. Students Security Force, as of October, there were no applicants. So the SSO office is looking at how to attract applicants to the program. For our UOG Green, didn't have a report, but I was part of the planning committee for a recent, the Guam Industry Forum that happened earlier this week. One of the plenary speakers was Mr. Neil Oranger with Astro America, and he was talking about industrial 3D printing on Guam. The hope is that this would be a new industry that would help diversify our economy, create new jobs, address supply chain issues. Mr. Oranger at that forum mentioned that he toured the Guam Green Gulf Makerspace and the 3D printing equipment at the Chamorro Village. And he commented that he was impressed with the eagerness of the university and to potentially being a source of 3D printing. I also understand that there was also a Guam additive manufacturing feasibility workshop sponsored by GITA today. That was looking at the viability of industrial 3D printing in Guam. IT infrastructure. So CIO Vince De La Cruz briefed the committee that he's continuing to make progress. He's looking at planning, procurement, and conversion to a cloud-based system, and returning to normal operations for forms and flows to improve efficiency for UOG's operations. For cyber, they're looking at improvements, including purchasing a firewall and other technologies to improve cybersecurity. And they are also looking at considering multi-factor authorization for a lot of their systems. A lot of banks and companies are moving towards that. And Madam Chair, that concludes my report for the Physical Facilities Committee.
Okay, thank you, Regent Diaz, for that detailed report. Now, let's see. Item 5.4, Investment Committee. Our Vice Chair McKeever. Oh, Senator, can you unmute? Unmute.
Thank you so
There
much
you
for
go.
that. Thank you, Chairwoman Frito, and good evening, everyone. The University of Guam Investment Committee met on Thursday, November 10th, 2022, and we had quorum. We reviewed the status of the pending items, which was the short-term investment manager request for proposal. According to Vice President of Administration and Finance, Randy Wiegans, the proposals will be organized and should be available to review in the next investment committee meeting. Raymond James, an associate who is our investment advisor, provided an overview of the market and the portfolio balances. The total portfolio balance was valued at $22.15 million as of September 30th, 2022. Markets remained volatile. However, an upswing occurred as a response to the midterm elections for this year. It seems that there may be a possibility of a mild recession in 2023. Amanda Gima of RJA walked us through the performance of the individual funds and managers. Most of the funds were performing in line with their benchmark. However, there was some managers that fell below the benchmark. The only main concern was the Winslow manager, which manages the large equity growth portion of the portfolio. However, this quarter, that manager did very well. However, we're going to keep a closer look and we'll make a decision if they will be put on the watch list. Another note, the Triton Investment Club had made a presentation to our committee, and as of October 31st, 2022, they have $38,140. The club is currently looking into investing in energy, finance, and health care stocks. The committee, however, cautioned them that certain sectors may come in and out of favor, so to look at their overall allocation instead of chasing winners. And Chairwoman Provito, this concludes my report for the investment committee. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, action item 5.5, Budget, Finance, and Audit Committee. Can we have a report from Treasurer Nahawa?
Yeah, thank you, Chairman Pavito. But before I start my report, I'll try to make it brief, but not now. Well, I'll try. Anyway, I'd like to thank Vice President Finance, Mr. Randy Regan, and also the staff that takes care of our books, watches our bills, and also they do a great job in putting things together, including the new risk officer, and I'll update as well. First of all, the Budget and Finance and Audit Committee met on Thursday, November 10, 2022, and received an update on the financial condition of the university. The university continues to receive its allotment on a timely basis. However, fiscal year 2023 budget levels remain low, and missing an allotment will be very difficult for the university. On the fiscal year 2022 year-end report, the unaudited financial statements as of September 30, 2022 reflects a reduction in the appropriation from the government of Guam and a reduction in tuition revenue of nearly $2 million. This is somewhat offset by increases in federal funds and an uptick in auxiliary revenues. Expenses fluctuated in fiscal year 2022 as COVID federal funds helped to assist various areas within the university. Institutional support increased by $5 million, and research increased by $3 million. At the end of the fiscal year, volatility in the markets resulted in a net investment loss of $5.1 million. The financial staff believe the year will end close to break even. The changes in the balance sheet account appear to reflect timing issues between September 30, 2021 and September 30, 2022. It was noted that cash has been set aside in anticipation for construction costs. The Guam Culture Repository was also capitalized, reflecting an increase in our assets. Our collection report. The university exceeded its goal of recovering $250,000 in student receivables, collecting an actual amount of $394,337. The university procured for collection service this year, and a change in vendor has reinvigorated efforts in collections. The procurement report. There were 3 large contracts entered into since the last meeting, which included annual software maintenance costs with Illusion, workflow automation services with SoftDocs, and non-fabric furniture for the School of Education with the Product Solutions. The university also finalized an MOU with the Office of the Governor for the operations of the Guam Culture Repository. Risk Officer update. Ms. Renee Pagurigan, University Risk Officer, and provided an update on the office plans this upcoming year. The risk officer's role within the university is to provide objective assurance to university constituents, as well as evaluating and improving the effectiveness of governance, risk management, and control process. The risk office function reports to the Board of Regents, the BFA committee, and administrative to the Vice President of Administration and Finance. New business. The BFA committee reviewed the proposal to initiate the 2023 presidential search. The proposed resolution was approved by the BFA committee. I move that the resolution number 22, initiating the presidential search, be approved by the Board of Regents. Our 11th president of the university, Dr. Thomas Christ, has announced his retirement effective August 5th. The Board of Directors must now begin the process of searching for a new president to maintain the effectiveness of the leadership of the UOG and ensure a smooth transition. The resolution established the Presidential Search Committee members as well as a PSC Advisory Committee. The BFA Committee also reviewed the proposal to update the faculty salary schedule, and we discussed that within the UOG market competitiveness. That proposal is already approved.
Mike,
yes.
Excuse me. I think we have to make a motion first and then second. Sorry. I'm up to speed on that one, but
Oh, okay,
yeah.
President, I'm not making a motion. I'm just reporting what we discussed.
Okay.
And yeah, okay. If you look at the agenda, these items will be addressed by the executive committee, and then they come to the board.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I just want to clarify. Sorry about that. You know, once I start rambling on, you know, you need a horse to hold me down. So other than that, you know, this is just to report that what we discussed in the committee. Okay. Thank you.
No, I was remiss too.
No problem. No problem.
Yeah. And it's just procedural, so let's what I need to do is just I mean, we can consider you making the motion for resolution number 22-45, and let's just get a second. Let's get a second.
Regent McKeever, second.
Thank you, Regent McKeever. So now, if you can continue on, Regent Holloway. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. Well, okay. Again, I'll just finish up the rest of the items that we addressed during our meeting. Okay. The BFA committee also reviewed. Okay, we talked about that new market competitiveness. I believe that was already approved. Next item: the Guam legislature increased the amount of funds available to the university for financial aid by approximately $500,000. However, they limited the use of the funds to specific types of financial aid. The changes prevented the university from using financial aid for scholarships for the FC Core program as part of the match agreed to by the university. They also effectively ended the Regent Scholarship Program. The reportion budget presumes the university will utilize operation funds to meet the FC match and spreads the financial aid to programs approved in the budget bill. The BFA committee also reviewed the proposed budgets for non-appropriated funds for fiscal year 2022. The proposed resolution was approved by the BFA committee. I move that resolution number 21. Hold on, you got to get the resolution. Okay, anyway, I don't have.
Regent Holowa and Chairperson Pravito, if I may. The resolution he was reporting on has already been voted through the AP&T committee. BFA only concurred with it. It's resolution 2243. So if I may ask a request that motion be revoked because it's already been approved. Thank you.
Got it. Thank you.
If you can just revoke your motion, then we're done with that particular resolution. Thank you.
Okay. So, okay.
Okay. Do you want to revoke that motion?
Yeah, you made another motion on a resolution already approved, and that resolution had to do with the steps. So if you want to just revoke your motion.
Okay, I revoke my motion.
Vote per second, we're done.
Got it. I revoke my motion.
Okay, second.
Second.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, let's just take a vote to revoke the motion. All those in favor? Aye.
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 All those opposed? Okay, abstention. Okay. Hearing none, the ayes have it. Thank you. Motion carried. And resolution revoke. Okay.
Okay, and the final item in my report actually is discussed previously, but it was previously presented to the BFA committee that the faculty salary schedule remains obsolete. Recent decisions made to other educational counterparts on island have skewed the scales even further. And this was explained earlier, and now steps have been provided in order to attain equity, parity within the university and the market. And that's my report. That concludes my report.
Okay, thank you, Regent Nahalo. Okay, for the record, I have to correct myself because I was out of order. And in fact, now let's move on to item 5.6, Executive Committee, the resolution, which now Regent Nahala, as treasurer of the Executive Committee, will introduce.
Are we in executive session?
Yeah, so Regent Nahala, as treasurer of the Executive Committee, can you introduce this resolution?
Okay. This is relative to the initiating the 2029 presidential search process. Can I have a motion for this, please?
Yes,
For
okay,
discussion.
so moved. I mean, a second, I think, Sandra, you made a second
Yeah,
on this motion.
yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it. Okay.
Keeper will second.
Okay.
Discussion.
Whereas the university, whereas the University of Guam is the primary U.S. land grant and sea grant institution accredited to the Western Association of Schools and Colleges, whereas the governance and well-being of UOG is vested into the Board of Regents and is responsible for the selection and evaluation of the UOG president, who holds the primary leadership position of the university. Whereas with the retirement of UOG President Thomas W. Christ, which to take effect at the close of business on August 5th, 2023, the Board of Regents must now undertake a search for a new president in order to maintain the effective leadership of UOG to ensure a smooth transition between presidencies. The Board of Regents is responsible for recruiting the most qualified candidate to assume the presidency through a presidential search process that is transparent, reflects best practice in higher education, and engages in institutional constituency and shared governance bodies as participants. Whereas in compliance with the UOD legal mandates and policies, a presidential search committee is appointed to conduct the search and to make recommendations for the Board of Regents to act upon in the selection of the new president. Whereas in order to maintain the integrity of the search process, the individuals named to the PSC shall continue to serve as members of the PSC, and at least 2 PSC members should be current Board of Regent members. Whereas consistent with the best practice, the PSC Advisory Committee, composed of university representatives, will be appointed to assist and provide input to PSC as directed and upon agreement and requested. What can I go up a little bit more? Thank you. Yeah, where the PSC requires funding to be allocated to cover expenses related to the performance of duties, and both the Executive Committee and Budget, Finance, and Audit Committees have reviewed and recommended to the Board of Regents for approval of a proposed presidential search budget of $127,000. Whereas the Board of Regents provides the option for the PSC to obtain the services of an experienced professional organization with expertise in presidential searches and/or other service as needed, and in coordination with the PSC to assist the PSC Advisory Committee, and the Board of Regents in conducting the search in the most professional manner. And whereas, in order to ensure the timeliness and efficacy of all necessary contracting and procurement related to the search, the Executive Committee requests approval to act on behalf of the Board of Regents to authorize to make expenditures from the Board of Regents to approve presidential search budget. Okay, now it's resolved that the Board of Regents officially names the PSC to conduct the search of a new president, to keep the Board of Regents informed as to its progress, and to make recommendations to the full board regarding the selection of the next president, and the following individuals are appointed to serve as its members: Lisa J. Previto, Board of Regents Chairperson; Agapito Pete Diaz, Board of Regents Member; Roland S. Sarteza, Board of Regents Member; Sunny Ada, Community Representative; Dr. Christopher B. Garcia Santos, President, UOG Faculty. Okay, hold on. Okay, and then Kiona Rivera, President, 61st Student Government Association; Antoinette D. Sanford, former senator, former board chair of the University of Guam and community representative; and Dr. Catherine Wood, community representative. Be it further resolved that the Board of Regents chairperson can serve as the PSC chair, or the PSC chair can be elected by the PSC members. Be it further resolved that the Board of Directors of Regent will authorize its executive committee to make changes to the PSC membership in the event that circumstances should occur that reduces representation in certain positions due to unforeseen circumstances, subject to ratification by the Board of Regents at its next regular or special meeting following such change. Be it further resolved that there will be a PSC advisory committee to assess the PSC when so requested, and that the PSC advisory committee will be composed of the following UOG community representatives. First, the President, Faculty Union, Chairperson, Staff Council, Chairperson, Administrative Council, and or one representative who is not a Board of Regent member from each of the following organizations. Representative, UOG Alumni Association, Representative, UOG Endowment Foundation Board of Directors, Representative, Regent Nominating Council. Be it further resolved that the PSC is authorized to manage the list of representatives in the PSC Advisory Committee who will serve for the duration of the search process in coordination with the respective organization listed, and will manage any changes to these representatives should certain representatives change due to unforeseen circumstances. Be it further resolved that the Board of Regents hereby grants authority to its executive committee to take action necessary in compliance with UOG's procurement regulations to obtain the services of an experienced professional organization with expertise in presidential searches and or other services as needed, and in coordination with the PSC. And be it further resolved that the Board of Regents hereby authorizes a budget relative to this president's search process of $127,000 and grants authority to executive committee to act in behalf of the Board of Regents to authorize and facilitate the expenditure of funds from the presidential search budget upon the recommendation of the PSC and in compliance of all applicable laws, UOG and procurement regulations. Oh, I need to
Thank you.
Anyway, that's it.
Okay, thank you, Regent Hall. Okay, so we've gone through the whole resolution here now, and what I'd like to do is call for a vote. All those in favor of the resolution, say aye.
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 All those opposed? Abstentions? Hearing none, the ayes have it and motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much, Regent Halawa. I believe that takes care of all the resolutions, and I need to get a motion to move into executive session.
Madam Chair, we have 6.0 and 7.0 first.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right, I'm sorry. Okay, 6.0, let's have a report from the Endowment Foundation. Is Katrina here?
Hafaday, yes. Hafaday, Madam Chair Pravito and members of the Board of Regents. Thank you all for giving me the opportunity to report. And first of all, I want to thank you all so much for your support and participation in celebrating the UOG Endowment Foundation's 40th anniversary at the Dusitani Grand Ballroom on October 8th. Through this effort, we were able to raise nearly $73,000 to bolster the General Endowment Fund. Another $8,000 was raised through a Cavalon whiskey tasting event to benefit a Taiwan scholarship for ALS student exchange. So special thanks go to the Taipei Economic and Cultural Office, Lucky Supplies, and Dean Lee Udine and members of his faculty for their assistance in making this a successful event. In the coming weeks, we will also be supporting UOG's December 3rd Platinum Jubilee and Holiday Party. For more information, you can contact Mr. Norman Analista from the Development, Alumni Affairs, and Foundation Relations Office. And during the months of November and December, we are holding our annual G is for Giving campaign, which is a grassroots effort to raise awareness and funds that will benefit the University of Guam based on the donors' passions and interests. This campaign allows donated funds to be pooled together to award meaningful scholarships or to raise funds that can benefit programs and research. Special thanks go out to our corporate and UOG partners for these other G is for Giving campaign efforts. Tango Theaters at the Micronesian Mall is offering Triton Trio combos from now through December, through which a portion of the proceeds will go towards our G is for Giving fundraising efforts. A turkey dinner raffle is underway. We're selling tickets to raise money for the class G is for Giving fund, and the drawing will be held on November 22nd. You can contact our office for more information. And November 29th is Giving Tuesday. We are planning an outreach fair with collection tables, trivia contests, and raffle drawings to benefit G is for Giving student scholarships. on December 9th. The date is tentative, but the Student Government Association will join with the foundation in a gift wrapping fundraiser at the Agania Shopping Center. And Circle K SPPC stations will have donation boxes out on their counters in the month of December, also to benefit student scholarships from the G is for Giving campaign. For those of you that are planning to shop online and avoiding crowds, at Macy's or on Island, please consider logging yourself through Amazon, through smile.amazon.com. This is Amazon's site that supports nonprofits. You'll be able to purchase items at no extra cost to you. However, a very small percentage of your payment will be passed along from Amazon to benefit UOG through the foundation. You need only choose the University of Guam Endowment Foundation from Amazon's list of approved nonprofit organizations for this to be put into effect. So the foundation is very honored to be conduits for philanthropy from its donors, and we are grateful to the valuable partnerships with UOG personnel in reaching out to these donors. Notable donations received in the past couple of months include $12,000 in-kind donations of laptops from the Hunhui Group through the efforts of the Taipei Economic and Cultural Office, $10,000 from the Tan Su Lin Foundation to benefit the UOG Regional Sports Fund. Special thanks go to Dean Lawrence Camacho and Mark Mendiola for their outreach to Mr. Jerry Tan in garnering his support for this. $10,000 was also received from the following: CPL Pacific LLC, GTA, and Bank of Guam to benefit the General Endowment through the 40th anniversary fundraising gala event. And lastly, $5,000 was received from Ms. Anna Cao to benefit the Taiwan Scholarship for ALS Student Exchange. This concludes my report. Thank you very much and have a very happy holiday season.
Yeah, thank you, Katrina. And the Board of Regents also looks forward with working more closely with the Endowment Foundation and hopefully growing our fundraising initiatives. Okay, now moving on to item 7.0, open presentation. Do we have anyone that would like to speak before the board? Okay, if not, then let's move on to item 8.0, executive session. Can I get a motion to move to executive session?
Regent Diaz, I move to move into executive session.
Thank you, Regent Diaz. Second, please.
Mike Naholo seconds the motion.
Okay, thank you. All those in favor, say aye.
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 All those opposed? Abstention? Hearing none, the ayes have it. Let's move on now to executive session. Thank you.
So Tess will move you over. You should, for the board and the president, you should see your invite to go to the private room. And marketing, can you go ahead and stop YouTube for now until we come back and resume session? Thank you.